Good morning. Oh, markets continue moving up, waiting for that Fed announcement tomorrow. So we got the futures just here at these pivots, resistance, of course. 100% move of that decline, which has become the norm with these wild movements. Now at this resistance area, we'll see if sellers want to take over here or not. So far, it's just gotten pretty erratic, just whipping up and down, but holding pretty steady there. Spiders, let's see, they're gapping up there a little bit just above that resistance. So futures traders aren't participating by pushing it up to an all-time high. Um, does that mean it's going to fail? I don't know. Most times, what you'll see futures leading the ETFs or the S&Ps, SPX. Not this time. So keep it in the back of the mind. I don't really know that it means much of anything right now. This is gapping up just slightly above resistance and being up several days in a row and then gapping up. It seems likely that it would pull back. Now, we'll see if that holds. Again, what was resistance becomes support. That's what, as it pulls back there, we'll see if buyers show up there and move it higher again. You see the 15-minute chart's got 2 days of basing. So while you see the prior day, that moved up toward resistance, there was a lot of sideways there. And so you got a big shelf of support that should not be violated. So gapping up a bit, see if buyers want to buy, pull back into the top of the range or not. Just moving the cursor there. Yeah. So let me just pull this down a little bit. Yeah, so you can see where it is. So, it's a decent sized gap out of this base on the 15-minute chart. We'll see pulling back there. We'll see if it catches a bid and push it back up again. SPX put the call strike way up. So, it's opening up here. It's not that far away. Opening up around here at resistance. Buyers are in control unless there's some failure there. I wouldn't go for that, but there was enough premium. You have to go wide, whatever wide, 20 wide or what have you, but there was enough premium to consider 5,700. If the market pushes higher, then consider above 5,700, see if it's got enough premium. That should be good because it's unlikely it's going to get through that whole number. I was going to see if and show you if those big open interests that were there yesterday, they evaporated. So a lot of options went out worthless because they never got up to those levels or down to the bottom levels. So a lot of options there at the end of the day were worth zero. Look at the NASDAQ futures, not doing too much here. Well, they're up, the change 130 points, but big deal. It's just the ranges have gotten big. Yesterday was a bottoming tail bar, so buyers did step up. It's at this resistance area. And just looking at the, not that far, but if it can hold here, this, may be a bring up the rear situation. Money may roll into this versus continuing to push the S&Ps. Yesterday, financials were strong. So let's see if they continue to be strong today. We've had some strength in the semiconductors this morning. Yesterday they were negative, so maybe that'll help push this. And so we'll keep an eye on financials and the regionals. If they continue to be strong, well, that'll be a plus for spiders and NES. And if the semiconductors can hold up, let's just take a look at that. You can see that it's moving up here a little bit. I mean, it's up at this resistance, but Intel is gapping up quite a bit. I have to look at some of the others to see how they're doing. But if this can hold up here, maybe this pushes up toward the 50. There's plenty of congestion over there to the left. And on a short-term basis, maybe it can make a move, and that'll help push the NQs. I know it will, so I'm pointing it out. Keep an eye on that. The Russell moving up. It's been a laggard coming up to that resistance area. There's still some room. You can see they continue to buy the dip. Pretty much this is what we see. While there's some acceleration, many times it just falls all the way back, and then buyers come up, which tells us that the majority is just while the markets are strong and things have been crazy, all of this up and down movement, they're comfortable buying down near some support. Whereas at that point, if it breaks down, you get out with a little loss versus trying to buy up there after it takes out the high and then having some huge stop and getting beat up in that way. The Dow hit new all-time highs yesterday, and there it is today, up there, up above those pivots. Looking at the cash, well, we don't see where that is, but it must be up above those highs there. So look, tomorrow's the news, but continue to just look like we always do. The first reference point of support is the prior day's low. So you can set an alert there or somewhere, in the middle of the range. Whatever you're keeping an eye on in intraday, but it may seem like it's up a lot in 4 days, but until it breaks down or closes below a prior day's low, we'll assume it keeps going up. Transports just continue to do a lot of nothing. Maybe there'll be some catch-up trades there. Bitcoin up here a little bit. I don't know if you saw the news this morning. Trump talking about now a cryptocurrency, and I only caught a little bit of it. I don't know if they're talking about him and his family creating their own, which is interesting. And we'll see. I'll have to look more into that and see what news is out there. Internals have room. Sentiment hasn't peaked up there yet, and the equity put call ratio is not up into those bands either. So breadth is up in the beginning of an extended area, but these are not aligned with that, and it's where it should be after 4 days up. If not, we'll be looking at that as, that's something wrong with that. So what we'll be looking for, and we'll see what tomorrow brings, but if the markets continue higher, and we'll see if at the end of the day tomorrow, this can, if this pushes up into the top there, and then we'll know that our internals are telling us be careful there, which would make sense. Prices being up as far as is, and look, after the news is out, options expiration, historically, the probability of a turn is high. All right, other things I mentioned, keep an eye on financials. So while they were up a bit yesterday and certainly helped the S&P, it's not like they're breaking out, something significant there, just pulling back. There was that gap fill. XLF, was up nicely, and it held up where, semiconductors were doing nothing. They attempts and failing. KRE and XLF were holding up. And so that led to, likely a could of the spiders, SPX, showing some relative strength versus the NASDAQ, and they did. Gold, new all-time highs. It's hanging up there. a little extended on a short-term basis. What was resistance becomes support. After two days like that, ideally it doesn't even pull back there. Like, we'll see if today closes with a bottoming tail type of a bar. And then if it breaks above that, we could get a continuation move. Silver played some catch up. It's coming up into resistance. Crude oil, you know, not it's kind of a grinder, trying to work its way up toward that minor resistance in the declining 20 MA. But we talked about it being down at this area of major support on the weekly time frame. So an obvious place where buyers are going to step in. Um, Oil stocks are still struggling. They're not leaping here, but coming off of the low a little bit. With oil inching up, so a little bit of a rotation there into what's underperformed. Let's see, yeah, home builders, you know, interest rates being down. I mean, these are up normal. Surprised they're not up more than they are, but you know, still, that they've had a big move, and so a little bit of, I guess, you know, hesitancy about continuing the move, even though things have gotten better for them with rates coming down. Yesterday I pointed out the sharp drop in the 13-week. So it's stabilized here in front of the meeting, but clearly, I think the biggest risk, just based on the movement in this chart, is that they do a quarter point. I think that's going to be a disappointment because this is telling us that the markets are believing that they're going to get a half. And I saw on the news this morning, and it's always a moving target, but expecting a point and a quarter by the end of the year, which means a lot of cuts between now. And so, with that thought in mind, they should jumpstart it with a half a point. We'll find out tomorrow. The 10 years not doing too much here. It's not on. Well, it's just sitting here. It'd be interesting to see if this continues to drop or not. Transports have stabilized, oil has stabilized. So the idea of, if this 10-year continues to drop and the transports continue to drop, um, you know, the idea of recession, and that's kind of what the markets are like. I don't think they care anymore. It was like, well, if it's a half, maybe they're concerned about recession fears, and why would they do so much versus, the markets are saying that's what they want. So it could be a disappointment if they only do a quarter tomorrow. And we'll see how that all unfolds. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. We don't have any earnings, so we'll just have to go through alarms and what's on my interest list. Now, I was hoping it would just chop sideways into the Fed meeting. I personally just don't like them when they're rocking into it, but um, I think it's back to the crack cocaine scenario of their stupid rate cuts. It's all the news is talking about. And yeah, I told a green room last Friday I predicted a half. And now the futures markets are catching up with my opinion as of Friday. Let's see, roll YouTube TNL short below yesterday's low. Yeah, sure. That's yeah. It's also won't trigger unless it's weak. Set an alarm at 40, 41.99. Alarms going off. Pelletier, we've been in. This was a nice bullish gap on earnings to consolidation days. We bought there. We're just in trail mode. I think we sold a third yesterday into strength, but now with the gap up, let's move the stop under there. CMG up alarm. We bought calls yesterday. Beautiful bottoming pattern. I mean, this is a picture of where the MAs are all in amazing agreement for a bottoming pattern. You got the 200 is up, and these 2050s are telling you you had a multi-week, multi-month consolidation within a longer term uptrend. And yesterday was the entry. ADI alarm. I see a couple prints here, but not very liquid. A number of these semis are gapping up. And a lot of them look similar, particularly the ones showing relative weakness like MU and LRCX, big old W bottoms here. And I left them posted. They were in the weekend letter. It has to get above Friday's high, and then you got monster W bottoms. So that one's still relative weakness. Notice how this one's almost up just to a Friday's high. So these are good. It's posted. Robert, four horsemen strong, a short may be difficult. Well, I disagree with that, Robert. If I have a compelling pattern and it triggers, so I got a couple comments from that conceptually. First is, let's just say there's 2,000 liquid stocks, maybe 2,500, somewhere in there. They all aren't going up at the same time. Number two, some things are weak because of intermarket analysis. Number three, if a compelling short pattern triggers in the face of bullish four horsemen, that's even better. As McGraw used to say, more better. So, that's so I got my alarm and we'll look at it if it hits. So if we actually have a lot of open inventory. This is our only bearish position workday. We have a call spread over these highs. This was relative weakness. My up alarm went off pre-market, but I don't see any prints. I hope it doesn't turn into a problem child. So I'll be watching that. I got CMP here in this middle chart. I forget what the news was on this, but this, and the trade review is going to be on climactic buy setups, and I just sent it to Telegram pre-market anyway. This would fit, it's not a textbook one, but here was a Climo that failed, followed by a double bottom with a 180 exhaustion reversal. So this actually was a nice Climo down here. Now it's a 1, 2, 3. It's a Climo on the weekly, and it has a void somewhere between 10 and the 50 MA. And now it's gapping up, but it's actually gapping up too much, unfortunately. But I have it here in the middle chart. We'll keep an eye on that. Vitali here, bottom right, I posted. Now you can buy the stock as a Climo, for target maybe 30. Stop yesterday's low. But I noticed the options were like very expensive. So I said, you know what, let's just start off over the closing price over 27.91, which looks like it's gapping over it. Let's sell the 27.50 puts for Friday for 60 cents. So that would give us a cost basis of 26.90. Look at my cursor. So there's nothing wrong with buying this as a Climo. So this is just a different trade. Sell puts, that would be your cost basis if a sign substantially improved. All right, Delta 20 saying he got CMG also. All right, very nice. And he said he got Chewy. I had Chewy on my list here, and it got away from me on this bar ripping. But yeah, that was a nice entry there. Weekly, monthly support. It on Delta 20. Nice turn on multiple time frames. What else do I got here? ETR, I think got an upgrade, but this is a nice little bull flag right here. That was your entry on this, what was that, last Thursday? That was your entry. There's nothing to do now. Said G, I think got a downgrade. This thing's just been beat to death. Look at that, $375 stock. It's now 21. Stilled. There's a sell setup. That's a sell setup. You could short that yesterday's low. I think they came out with some new numbers or whatever. So it's opening flat, but that's a sell setup. Microsoft said they're raising their dividend and doing a buyback. Um, that's had a big run. Look at that, 400 to 440 in such a short period. That is amazing wealth creation. 10% on a $3 trillion stock is 300 billion. Amazing numbers. Box, I forget what the news was, but this is a bull rectangle. Still far from the 20, but this is one, Alex, that's been going sideways long enough that it doesn't bother me. So now with the gap down, that's even better. I'm going to set an alarm at 33.40 because if it doesn't, uh, if my alarm doesn't go off, then I don't even care about it. But if it does, that's another sign of relative strength where buyers are lurking below. Walmart, Robert said, got a downgrade. It might set up as a day trade short or call spread. Actually, I like when upgrades, downgrades are timed with the charts instead of like I much more respect the guy or gal who is giving this chart a downgrade versus an upgrade. That's my point. It's like, hello, this thing's rallied from $50 to 80. Now you want to upgrade it? So, and I'm just assuming they did it. I think it's valuation got ahead of itself. Almore asking about AMD. AMD long. We don't, no, that's Delta 20. It's up 8 bars. You don't have a good void. You don't have a correction pattern. Some of these other ones that I mentioned are substantially better, like an LRCX, because it's closer to support with a bigger void, major support. And Elmore Reddit. I haven't looked at old Reddit in a long time. Not bad. I would like it a lot more if it didn't have this topping tail. But it broke out and it's a pullback and bottoming tail. So that's a good sign. And I like pre-market action. So 30-minute high or start scaling into it. That ain't bad. I'll watch it with you. Some others here, Dick. Greg mentioned they did a split or something or other, but I don't see any pattern. They had retail numbers this morning. Did we meet our target? We did a put spread on this on the reversal day. Last Thursday. I wish we did a directional. Yeah, we took our profits yesterday. We met our target, but that's gapping up. Retails, but it's had a big run. Dell, there was some news. This was a weird looking pattern. You had breakout failure, breakdown failure. Now it's stabilized with all the converging MAs with a void gapping up. So it's bullish. That could be a 30-minute high idea. Tesla, I mean, Meta, we had as a put spread yesterday. It triggered the price over Friday's high, but we did not get the desired premium. And I also had it as a long watch and just never pulled the trigger, but that's working. So Tesla is just bobbling around in a range here. It's not ready. Axon, we bought into the close yesterday. The weekend ladder, 1, 2, 3, looks good. I just had an Algen alarm go off. We have an open put spread on this because Friday's bar was too big for me to want to buy it. Although look at that 15-minute chart up here on Friday. Beautiful daily, beautiful 15. Let me just set a new up alarm. 254. Yeah, let's see. I have the vert alarm go off. Wow, my alarms are going nuts here. KRE alarm. We're in this in the ETF letter. Looks great. Burke up alarm. It's one of our open climos. Burke. This was a beautiful climo we did. You'll see that in the trade review. LRCX alarm. Box alarm. I box, that's the one I said if it negated the gap down. 772. Is this an early alarm? 772.56. Let's just do 5-minute high LRCX as a go. I mean, that's a lot of shares already. 30,000 shares of a $770 stock is a lot of notional value. Box. See, look, it did exactly what I said might happen. And I would not have known that but for my alarm. I said, if the alarm goes off, fine. If not, fine. That's bullish. Daily, weekly, monthly, the old box. Alex, they make lunches, right? Yeah, this is they make lunch boxes. I'm tempted to do a half lot. Funeral box. All right, our Duolingo doing well. We are long stock. That might have been a 1/3 target alarm. I'll look later. Let me just reset higher alarms now. Stop is 227. Let's go ahead and tighten some stops. 232.76. Yeah, that was, oh no, let's see. Ah, shoot, we only have a third left of Duolingo. Shoot, we left money on the table. Oh well, we're just going to trail mode now. We have nice move on that. $32.76.
Tesla's taking out some resistance. Maybe put spread there down.
I looked it, yeah, I'll look again, but yeah, I think the premium wasn't there and look at that CMP I mentioned, middle chart. Ron, it's just it's run a lot from this bottoming tail. I would much rather wait for a retracement to buy. Look at wow. This was one of my favorites this morning, but it was a gap and go. Tilray dog up alarm. Look at you go, boy. Smooth stop break even. Hal up alarm. That was another Climo. Delta no, we're not a Neo. Busier than I thought here today. All right, Tilray dog. Yeah, Lucy, I see. Yeah, negated. I was hoping that was going to be a 1, 2, 3 on Lucy, but they don't care what I want. Yeah, I'm behind. So that's a put spread, right? So you just got to see where the premium is now done. Yeah, I told him my alarms went nuts at the open here, so I'm behind. I just go them one by one, and focus on the importance. And in terms of importance in running a business, to me, it's managing opens first because that's your inventory. It's either on fire or it's paying you and you want to take your money. All right, ABI. Yeah, so it's good to go, Don, if you get filled, but I can tell you by looking at the gap, it's nowhere near it. Yeah, see, I don't even have to look. A Mo, yep, we're already in it. All right, I'm just wow, look at our Algin. Oh, but this is just a put spread. Shoot. I mean, I would not, woulda, coulda, shoulda. I should be long on this one. No, I wouldn't have bought over that big old bar. I would wait for a 1, 2, 3. Pelletier low alarm. Oh, so maybe they just stopped out. I just got to do these one by one, y'all. But I'll answer your questions first. Ouch. Oh, I thought it was kind of sounded like a bio, but it says technology. Let's cover. You know what? Let's just take our money ahead of the Fed here. We're at 75% of max profit. I mean, you can try to squeeze another dime if you want, but I ain't gonna worry about it. Correct. But let me ask you a question. Is closing it now or closing it tomorrow at 10 a.m.? Are they both ahead of the Fed? I guess that's more of a question for Sam. A little bit of a head scratcher. But what I said before that, Alex, in sincerity is more relevant. Do you want to try to squeeze out another dime after a big old run like this? Or take your money and move on to the next bus? Well, I would, Alex, if it was a directional, but again, I prefaced it with if you want to babysit it to try to squeeze out another dime, go for it. Go for it. But we have so many other trades, and I'm not in this business looking for dimes. Duolingo up alarm again. Let's move stop days low. Keep things tight. 235.85. All 15-minute horsemen are stalled momentum, topping tails of red bars, meaning they're under the open. So surely not in a rush of chasing these moves. I'm more concerned with managing opens. But if it's valid, like our LRCX 5-minute high I gave. So the new, it's over. Let's just do it over 77.73. So that's valid if it triggers. That's a valid new setup. FTP. Um, Sandwich in the making. I don't see a sandwich on any time frame, Alex. Oh, KDP, all right. It's not a perfect one because you want the outer green bars to be engulfing, but we can still use bar by bar analysis. Hey, this Vitale, I was not watching if you got filled on those puts I said. Let's see where they're at. 27. Well, there was an offer at 60. So that kind of tells me somebody might have been trying because I said offer it a limit of 60. So Don, in this case, I have absolutely no idea if it got filled, although it did fill the gap. So, remember our discussion of yesterday? Did that get filled at 60 cents? I don't know. I wasn't watching it, but I it's coin toss. Very well could have. All right, CMG. Vitale, short puts. Yeah, let me just set a new alarm here. CMG. 5740. The up alarm, how about 5880? Yeah, I agree, Alex. We should only talk like that when we have extra time. But here I'm going to give you a tally. So that's what's the trade. All right, continuing my alarms. Pelletier stopped out. I tightened the stop pre-market, so just take our money. That's fine. It's relative weakness right now on the deep retracement. We have an open gain. So I will gladly close you out. Axon, low alarm, but I know it's nowhere near our stop. I just had an alarm at 381. Let's see it. Nope, wrong one. Here we have only sold a third of pellets here. $36.35. Made a buck 50. I'll take it. Let's see you. That's the wrong symbol. All right, D delta. Ah, there was already a little utility coming in, low alarm. Remember I said yesterday, utilities getting cooked. Was this our stop? No, not an early stop. So I will just reset it. Exxon. Boeing's still in the doghouse. AAP doing nothing, but I got my alarms. ADI, we're waiting for a pullback. ACVA. We can move stop yesterday's low. Isn't it a little early for that? Still in the morning. Wouldn't you rather have an egg burrito? Exactly. Sounds better. Halliburton. Still going through alarms. All right, Halliburton. Nice. Finally. Had a slow start yesterday. So we can move stop here now. 2808. Yeah, same discussion done as yesterday. Right, I saw the 60 offer when I first pulled it up, but that's why I said I have no clue. Halliburton. So Battalion, we could still buy the stock, which I actually had it written up that way at first. Stop 28. Wait, whoa, that's wrong. Stop is 28, 2808. Yeah, I remember you. I know. Let me look at it right now. I'm still doing alarms here. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I'm chasing Vitali now. We should have done it over yesterday's time. Yep. I goofed by screwing around with that foot. Q's coming in. Um, Meta holding strong. Apple still relative weakness. Meta had a nice day. Oh, can't type. Netflix, nothing. Tesla, let me check those puts, but it's coming in. Yeah, Tesla's juicy, Greg. So if you want to watch this pullback, we can do the 220s, $5 wide. Greg doesn't want.
It's on the open right now and turning.
All right, so you like it right here?
I don't, it's holding here. It's better than other things. I don't know what else it's going to do. Think you're far enough away.
Yeah, D stepped out. Yep, I just saw that. I thought at first I had a early alarm, but that was a real one. All right, still busy here, trying to catch up.